Hey gang, welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox, and let's talk about the Steven Universe hiatus. You know, the hiatus that's lasted for 5 months now, and looks like it'll be raging on to January of next year with the promise of a winter return. Yeah, that hiatus. I know it's been a while since we've had new episodes. This is the longest hiatus so far, and we've been met with radio silence from both the Crewniverse and Cartoon Network themselves, which is to be expected. Now, some rumors have been circulating on why the show's on hiatus, and some of them don't sound too far from the truth. So today I want to go over a few and give my thoughts. I want to make it clear everything in this video, even with any supporting evidence I may show, is nothing more than a rumor. It's not confirmed. Also, understand that everyone on the show or at Cartoon Network has signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which means they legally cannot specify anything. I'm not sure how far that goes, but I'm assuming that includes details surrounding the show's production and cannot make more than vague statements. That being said, please do not bother anyone on the Crewniverse or who generally works at Cartoon Network for answers, including voice actors, because they will not have an answer for you, no matter the numbers. They've likely been badgered about questions regarding the hiatus since Large's Head aired back in late May. With all that in mind, let's dive in. Number 1, OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. So there's a little show you may have heard of called OKKO, which began airing over the summer. This show has had a lot of hype behind it, ever since the pilot debuted in spring 2013. I am absolutely in love with this show. The episodes are great, the humor is top notch, it's full of adventure, and there's even some inklings of an overarching story. Lots of theory fuel for the conspiracy nerds like me. Now, the way I'm describing this show may remind you of Steven Universe, which is of course plot driven with comedy and adventure elements. Now, obviously, Cartoon Network recognized this as, hello, those are both their shows. Cartoon Network also knows Steven Universe thrives, the premieres do well, and it has a dedicated following. So some have thrown out the idea that SU's current hiatus is a result of OKKO, or more the network wanting OKKO to succeed. The other big names on the network right now aren't necessarily plot driven, aside from Adventure Time, but let's be honest, it does not have a huge presence, or any form of presence, as we're lucky to even get a rerun on a weekend morning. Perhaps Cartoon Network wants OKKO's first season to wrap up, as a way to attract the dedicated Steven Universe audience, while also not wanting to risk OKKO being swept under the rug by the target demographic. That maybe kids can't handle following 2 serialized series on the network at once. That's not a notion I agree with. OKKO's first season is almost finished airing, and at this rate would finish up early December, before the portion of December where networks don't premiere any new episodes and focus on holiday specials. If not, the season would finish up in January, which, what do you know, is likely the month Steven Universe would return. So when OKKO's first season is over and done, and the audience is hooked in there, Steven Universe would return with new episodes, and they would just feel it out, and once OKKO season 2 would start airing, the two would coexist in harmony. Or not, because they'd probably just do Steven bombs for the rest of the time. Overall, I could hypothetically see this being the case. I don't vibe with it, and that banks on a lot of paranoia on Cartoon Network's end. The only hole I can poke is that I don't see them doing this forever, putting both shows in an ever-rotating hiatus when the other's running. They'd have to run both at the same time eventually, because I don't see OKKO's story arcs just dropping after the first season. Moving on to number 2, the biggest nuke ever. Now, many of you may remember in summer of 2016, from July 18th to August 12th, Cartoon Network aired a new episode of Steven Universe every week dubbed Steven's Summer Adventures, or The Summer of Steven. This was also referred to by fans as the Steven Nuke. Most of season 3 and the beginning of season 4 aired within a month, and while I wasn't exactly fond of this format, don't get me wrong, having new episodes every day was nice, and was reminiscent of Toonami's early years, the ratings were stellar. Due to this, combined with the idea of season 5 being this huge game-changing season, many have suggested perhaps this hiatus is to pile up a whole bunch of episodes. I'm talking more than they ever have before, and planning to air a bulk of this through another Steven Nuke, the biggest one ever, airing the rest of season 5 in one fell swoop. The idea of this is a bit more easy to entertain than the OKKO theory, as indifferent I'd be to this being the reality, I also don't see Cartoon Network sitting on episodes for over 5 months to burn them off at once. Keep in mind, they're not trying to kill the show. They love Steven Universe as much as we do. It gives them an amazing reputation with its progressive themes and storytelling, and it makes a lot of money. Have you walked into a pop culture store lately? That merch though. So I feel like they could have done this without waiting this length of time. But on the other hand, we don't know how far the summer of Steven set them back. 21 episodes in 4 weeks is eating through a lot of their backlog. From my point of view, kids are a lot more fickle when it comes to television. I remember if a show took a while to come back, I'd lose interest very quickly when I was 12. This feels like a move to generate hype, but the length of time has efficiently killed the hype. A bit counterintuitive. All in all, solid idea, but again, from someone who isn't on the business side of things, but the consumer side of things, I'm just not vibing with it. Finally, number 3, the more unexpected, kind of obscure yet believable scenario. The show is, or was, on a production hiatus. This came entirely from rumors. I've had people reach out to me over social media messages sharing said rumors. I've seen different variations on it, but it all boils down to one thing. The Crewniverse took a break. Now, one of the reports of this rumor claimed that they were on this hiatus for 6 months, but I don't necessarily buy this part. Of course, over the summer, our dear friend Mackenzie Atwood interned at CN Studios. One of the shows being, of course, Steven Universe. And I believe the same day she started, the voice actors were recording an episode. But that may actually support this theory. The recording session seemed to be pretty big. All the Crystal Gems, Connie, and Stevani's voice actresses were in the booth. They had a full house. That's just the people they were able to get in the studio. We know not every role in the show records at Cartoon Network Studios. Even regular characters like Greg. Tom Sharpling has never been in the booth with the other actors. Now, the voice actors are personally my biggest supporting evidence to this claim that there is a form of a production hiatus. Their presence in the booth in the beginning of the summer proves that they were voicing storyboards. Voicing storyboards mean the storyboarders were working at least a month or two prior. All the teams of storyboarders work at once. They all have 5 weeks to work on their portion of an episode. And I believe there are 4, maybe 5 teams of storyboarders, which means the writers were working at least a month prior as they were, of course, outlining the season and the episodes. Following along, not too confusing? Keep in mind, this is all conjecture as I do not work in the animation industry. I don't work on Steven Universe. I'm not affiliated with the show. The bottom line is, as long as the voice actors are recording, the show is being worked on in some way, shape, or form. If about 4 episodes are collectively being storyboarded a month, and that's under the assumption each team spends a month to storyboard an episode entirely, then that's a month worth of episodes the voice actors can, well, voice. Assuming they only record 1 episode a week, in addition to retakes and such from episodes they get back from overseas. Now here's the thing, voice actors record every Wednesday morning. They've stated that themselves and their social media has backed that up. I'm assuming if for some reason one of the voice actors can't come in on Wednesday, they just record their lines later on in the week. Yet, we haven't gotten a post from them recording in quite a bit of time. In fact, the last post of the recording session that I could find was, well, Wednesday, June 7th, the day Mackenzie started, the day they recorded that episode with all the Crystal Gems and Stevani, an episode that seems to be quite a major one. That's not to say they have to post what they're doing every single second of their day. They have their own lives to live. I'm saying that they are very interactive with the fans and haven't shied away from letting the peeps know when they're in the studio. So why start now? It's also important to note, without going into details, it seems like the voice actors have been traveling and being a part of other projects recently. To be more in detail, I know Zach Collison, voices Steven in particular, has been working on a music career, and lately it seems to have taken up a lot of his time. And he's been posting updates on when he's recording and working on said music. And those dates include, you guessed it, Wednesday mornings. The homie Michaela Dietz also visited her family in Korea in recent months. And I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Korea isn't just a weekend trip. That's definitely a trip that lasts a few weeks. And while we don't know the specifics, I'd assume this is a trip she'd take when not working on the show. Now again, please don't bug anyone who's affiliated with the show asking them if these rumors are true, because again, they have NDAs and they legally cannot tell you. And it's just rude because again, these people have lives beyond Steven Universe. Overall, I do believe the suggestion for the hiatus is the most plausible one. The voice actors not recording means that there are no storyboards to record, which means the storyboarders simply haven't been storyboarding. The writers haven't been writing. So should this be the case, we know the show will be back in production when A, a storyboard simply posts, hey, working on Steven Universe, or B, the voice actors are recording and posting about it on social media again. The latter means, hey, everyone's back in business. As for why the production hiatus happened in the first place, I'm not sure why. One of the rumors suggested it was due to writers Matt Burnett and Ben Levin leaving to work on their show Craig of the Creek, in conjunction with other Crewniverse members parting ways. We know Zook and Raven are no no longer storyboarding, while storyboarders have joined the show, like Madeline, who previously worked on regular show, who debuted her work on the episode Lars's Head. This hiatus would allow time to just take a breather and regroup, instead of having to work through all these changes and affect both their mental health and the quality of the show, which would be horrible on both ends. If you want to be more creative, my theory-driven take is that if they wanted to go on production hiatus so everyone can regroup, they had to give Cartoon Network a good reason. If the last episode we know they recorded was a major one, which it definitely seems to be, then perhaps it ends on a huge cliffhanger, and they're going to pull a Ben 10 Alien Force and do a small time skip. Maybe age up Steven, have all the gems reform, and so on. That way they complete the Cartoon Network, hey, we need some time to get new model sheets, new designs, backgrounds, etc. Can we take a break? To which they were granted. This scenario has a very, very slim chance of being accurate because I'm sure they just give them the break so everyone doesn't go insane. It'd still be interesting to see, however. So yeah, the show being on hiatus and not airing any episodes because they simply don't have enough episodes to air without creating an even longer hiatus sounds the most plausible. But these are just my thoughts and I'd love to hear yours. Which scenario do you find the most likely? Comment below or tweet your thoughts directly to me at AwestruckVox. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at RoundtableViz for updates, and add us on Snapchat at RoundtableYT to see all our shenanigans. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like, share it with all your friends being driven mad with the hiatus for the chance to put them at ease, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You can join our Discord, download our Amino app, and if you got the $1 to spare, support us on Patreon. Links to everything in the description below. I hope you have a beautiful day, and AwestruckVox signing out.